Can I talk? The Whale Festival has sadly been a little bit rained out this Sunday afternoon. So most people have gone home for the afternoon, and we're going to just share a video with you on the Faces of Need Penguin project that the Dyer Island Conservation Trust started in 2006, which will give you quite a nice overview. When this video was filmed, though, the penguins were listed as vulnerable. Since May this year, they have now been that has been amended to an endangered status.
The African penguin is currently listed as a vulnerable species. So in terms of the IUCN, which is the International World Conservation Union, and they've listed it as vulnerable to extinction. But due to the latest trends in African population breeding census that we do in Southern Africa, their number has dropped very dramatically. And so it's highly likely that in the near future they will be upgraded or downgraded, depending on your point of view, to endangered.
Approximately 5.5 contour will find Dyer Island. This 28-minute reserve is managed by Cape Nature and has been listed as an important bird area. The island is a resting place for an array of seabirds, including Cape cobra, cow dog, and the African penguin, the latter of which has been under increasing threat survival.
In the 1970s, Dyer Island had the world's largest African penguin population. There was about 25,000 breeding pairs, and if you include the non-breeders, it amounts to about 70,000 birds. Now, which 60 years later, that number is down to about 1,500 breeding pairs, which is a substantial drop in just a few years.
Cape Nature started managing Dyer Island in 1994. We took over from the Marine Coastal Management that year and went on with basic monitoring on the island. A couple of years down the line, we hit a major disaster. Most of our Cape Woolmans got over in Florida, and members of the community started showing interest in assisting us with this disaster. So we can basically say that in times of disaster, people get together. And this informal partnership just grew. And in 2006, members of the community formed the Dyer Island Conservation Trust. And they started helping us with a major project where we started building artificial nest sites for the African penguin, and also assisting us in one of the pioneer projects that we started, the orphan chick program. We will take orphan chicks off the island and raise them at Sandcroft.
The Dyer Island Conservation Trust, I must say, at the moment, most of our work goes about penguins and the conservation of penguins, because that's how we started off. At the same time, the trust will also be looking at all the animals in the area. We've got fantastic whales that need our attention and our care, as well as great white sharks. So, penguin-wise, we're lobbying all over the country and if possible worldwide for the conservation of penguins, and specifically the African penguin.
There are several reasons for the declining penguin numbers. In some instances, these threats are national, but in many others, species are facing danger both directly and indirectly by man.
The reasons for this decline are sort of historical reasons, and then also threats that they currently face. In the 18 and 1900s, all the offshore islands that were breeding colonies for penguins had a history of penguin egg collection and guano scraping, and that has a profound impact on the number of breeding birds in the population. Dyer Island, for example, scraping started in about the 1850s, and it only stopped in 1983. So you can have a look and see the sort of island here. It's rocky. The guano would have been about 3 or 4 meters high, and it's very soft, and that's what the penguins would burrow into. And now with this habitat, this burrowing habitat being removed, the penguins are being forced to breed on the surface, which you can see in the birds sort of behind. And what that means is that because they're breeding on the surface now, and their breeding season on Gaia starts in summer, the adults are exposed to heat stress. And if it gets too hot, they go down to the sea to cool down, and it leaves their eggs and their small chick exposed to predation by club gulls. And that could, in effect, wipe out the first initial breeding of the African penguins on the island. Oiling is another big problem that the birds face. Another really important problem nowadays is competition or a lack of food resources. And this is due to competition with commercial fisheries. The main food source for African penguins is pelagic fish, sardine and anchovy, and they compete in a sense with commercial fisheries for this resource. And specifically when the birds are breeding, they are limited to a certain range within their breeding colony, pretty much 30 to 40 kilometer radius around their breeding colony. And if those shipping vessels are fishing within that area, the penguins are suffering or not able to provide enough food for their chicks.
I think it's critically important that the trust and a lot of the trust members have been involved in trying to convince the authorities to have exclusive zones around the islands of South Africa to protect the feeding of the seabirds. We can do as much as we want on this island to protect the birds here, but unless they have food to eat, nothing will help here. So we've been instrumental in setting up a closed zone around one of our west coast islands, and hopefully it'll come to Gaia Island as well as the islands on the east coast in the end, so that these birds, number one, have enough to eat. Then we can look at their housing, we can look at production and all those other things.
Gaia Island Conservation Trust is instrumental in initiating efforts to grow penguin populations, and currently these efforts are focusing on ensuring that each breeding season is a successful one.
So in order to deal with this, the decline in the African penguin numbers, and to try and do as much as we can do on the land where the birds breed, the Gaia Island Conservation Trust is involved in a project in partnership with Cape Nature in order to provide artificial nesting habitat for the birds in place of the guano. And these artificial nests are made on the mainland, enhanced by local community projects, and then they're brought to Gaia Island, and we're placing, in conjunction with Cape Nature, in areas where the birds had been breeding in previous seasons.
The other critically important thing is that we have Lauren Waller at the moment, and she's doing incredible, important scientific work on the penguins on Gaia Island. I don't think ever in the history of Gaia Island there's been more intensive work done on the penguins than exactly now. And then the other thing that the trust do is we're hoping that through this Island Conservation Trust we can get people that didn't work together previously come together and work together for the conservation of South Africa's penguins. Quite often we feel ourselves more important than the cause, but I really hope that the cause of the African penguin is more important than any one individual.
So part of the reason for the current success of the trust is just the support that we've had from the local community. And the trust is really looking to support as many of the African penguin breeding colonies as possible. But that's obviously not possible without the support of individuals, companies, corporates. And so we really are looking for additional sponsorship from local, international people, companies, and the way that people can get involved is just to support the nest project. It enables us to buy and produce the nest. It enables us to buy equipment that we need to do research on the monitoring. And you can have a look at the DRCT website for more details on how you can support the Dialogue Conservation Trust.